Coming up on the next episode of the Celsius Pod.
I have a vendetta against this boat. I want to destroy this boat. Okay, but now here's the hitting question. What is better, The Princess Bride or the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory? What if you just never let go of your ball, being like, broke girl, broke girl?
74? More like 75, am I right? Are we on 74 or are we on 75? Because it works either way.
It's 75.
Great joke, dude, I got the joke lined up and ready.
What a great joke, Beck.
You know, we're 3/4 of the way.
I think we got
Aiden, what is the weather?
Oh, we gotta do the weather.
Let's see what the
here,
weather.
46 here.
Right now, it's 56 here. Well, that's an ad. 56 here.
Right now?
So Aiden, you left us on such a big cliffhanger about Princess
Bride
Bride
last week. In Belgrade.
So, Aiden really likes this movie called The Princess Bride. And I said, hey, I'll watch it so we can talk about it next week.
Yes, and what did you think, Beck? Because you did watch it.
I did not watch it.
Did you really not?
I tricked him by making a fake Letterboxd review, and he thinks I saw the movie.
No!
What the
So now we can talk about what Aiden forgot about talk about last week. Chicken nugget.
Oh. No, Beck, you actually pranked me. What the fuck? I thought you watched the movie. I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
It's not. So Aiden, unfortunately, we cannot talk about it since it would spoil.
So the Princess Bride starts, and it's an old man walking into his son, and he brings up.
He did watch it.
Actually watch it. He didn't watch it. The second biggest twist in podcasting.
That sucks.
He did watch it. Okay.
I am playing with Aiden's emotions so hard.
I had to go turn on the fan. It's getting hot in here.
Damn.
You want to talk about the Princess Bride?
I would love to talk about the Princess Bride. All right. Movie starts off. Kid is playing video games on his NES in his bedroom. He's sick. It's Christmas. His grandpa comes in. Grandpa's like, yes, it's Christmas. There's Christmas decorations up. It's snowing outside. It's Christmas.
It looks like a sunny summer afternoon.
No, it's Christmas. Oh my god.
I disagree.
I don't think he actually watched it. I think that's going to be the third twist of the episode.
That he didn't watch it.
Is that he's just made up the intro. He pulled up the Wikipedia page.
I watched the first 2 minutes and I'm like, okay.
Okay. Grandpa goes into to his grandson's room. He's like, I'm going to read you a story. And the kid is like, is it a lame story? And the grandpa's like, no, it's a good story.
It's like the movie called The Krampus.
So this is based on a book, and they're reading the book in the movie.
Yes, they are reading the book in the movie.
Wait, in the book, is there a grandpa reading the book?
No, there's not a grandpa reading the book in the book.
That would be like me reading Harry Potter and then fucking Hagrid busts down my door and says, "You are a wizard."
Yeah, no, does that sound? No,
that's like guys. That's like if I was watching Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness and Sam Raimi came and twisted my nuts.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah, just exactly like that, Uri. Let's not elaborate.
Happens to the best of us. So Grandpa starts reading the story. He's like, back in Florin, in this made-up land called Florin, where both China and Australia both exist.
Florida.
And Spain.
And
Florida.
Spain. And Sicily. They all exist.
I think it's just Florida.
And it might be. So, Buttercup, this girl, she's got this guy, and his name is Wesley. And
he's doing
he says,
I do.
Perfectly.
I'd like you guys to know.
He says, I do, and which actually means, I love you. And then Buttercup is like, Wesley, can you get me that picture? And he gets the picture down, and he's like, I do. And they were in love. They loved to be in love. They were great. But then they ran out of money to get married. So Wesley went off to go get money from his family.
Broke boy alert.
And he died to pirates. So now Wesley is dead. and Buttercup now is engaged to Prince Humperdinck. And so the movie, we are 2 minutes into the movie. They have already done all the exposition to set up our main character, and it's perfect, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's 3 minutes into the movie. We already understand all our characters, and it starts going. It's already 3 minutes in the movie, and the plot starts.
So hard to predict the twist at all, you know?
What twist?
All right, next.
There is no twist back.
So then, Buttercup, she gets sad and depressed because now she has to marry Humperdinck. So she rides off into the sunset because that's what she does. She likes to ride her. No, she likes to ride her horse. So she rides her horse, and then these 3 guys.
It's like in Brave,
like,
you know?
Hey, I'm lost. Is there a town anywhere near here? And she's like, no, there's no town anywhere. And he's like, perfect. Then no one can hear you scream. And she gets grabbed by the throat and passes out.
Rape.
We are introduced to our other main characters of this movie. Vicini, Inigo Montoya, and Physique.
Inigo Montoya, favorite character. He kind of carries the movie.
He does carry the movie, it's true. Because Buttercup kind of sucks. She's just a woman.
Yeah.
But that's okay. That's all you really need from a 90s movie about a woman.
It does feel like a 90s movie, like, through and through.
It's great. It's perfect. So Vicini's like, I'm gonna trick Humperdinck into thinking that it was the neighboring country. No, what does he say? He's like, I'm gonna trick him and to make it think he was the neighboring country. Yeah. And
that really confused me because later we find out that guy also wants a reason to go to war with them. So yeah. So why didn't he just let them kidnap her and he could just go to war? It doesn't make a lot of sense.
To not be suspicious that he killed his wife?
No, but none of the kidnapping. Like if he's already...
I ignore that.
Oh, God.
Okay, fine. So, they kidnap Princess Buttercup. Vicini, the short guy, Inigo, the swords guy, and Physique,
the giant,
who's played by Andre the Giant. So
it is
really
Andre
big.
the Giant. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Goja.
This is where we get one of the first best moments of the movie. The first interaction between Physique, Vicini, and Inigo Montoya. Brilliant writing. Do you want to go back where I found you? Unemployed in
Greenland.
And then they have the whole rhyming thing. Stop that rhyming now, I mean it. Anybody want a peanut? Perfect.
Anything that has these 3 people is like completely peak. The only thing I didn't like is all like the romance stuff. Because like that kind of like falls off a bit.
Bro thinks he's the grandson. I can't.
Wow. He has some good points.
So they go on a boat. They sail away.
Wait. Crazy theory. What if the story in the book is just the story of the grandpa's life?
Oh, that was a theory I had, but then that theory was not correct.
So they sail on the boat, and Inigo keeps looking behind him, and he's like, "Is anybody following us?" And Vicini's like, "There can't be anyone following us for hundreds of miles, and even if they were, they wouldn't catch up to us." And Inigo keeps turning around. He's like, "By the way, why do you ask?" And he says, "Well, somebody's following us." He says, "Inconceivable." He says "inconceivable" a lot. And then Princess Buttercup jumps overboard to swim away off the boat. But wait, there's this thing called the shrieking eels. And you know they're about to kill you because the sounds that they make get louder and louder right as they're about to kill. And then she almost dies to the eels. But then the son interrupts the story and he's like, whoa. No, the grandpa interrupts and he says, Buttercup doesn't die to the eels at this time.
At this time?
At the kid is like, what? And she's like, you were stressed out. So I paused the story to just explain it, to clarify. He's like, no, continue, it's fine.
This is such a 90s fucking movie. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's a 90s movie.
So she actually gets out of the water on Vicini, or Physique hits the eel over the head and he dies. So then they go and they climb the cliffs of insanity. And he plays
They
this
go
musical
insane?
sting.
No,
No,
it's
and then-
just a random cliff they call the Cliff of Insanity, and it shows up for 2 seconds.
Okay, but does it
Shit.
play virtual insanity?
2 seconds. It's like the whole ass 10 minutes of like.
Okay, if you come
So
to the
then
top
they
of the
climb-
cliffs, then yeah. If you
So
it's
they
like
climb
at max 2
yeah.
minutes.
So they climb a rope, and then they climb it up to the top. But then the guy that's following them, he parks his boat and he starts climbing. But he's climbing by himself. He's just climbing. And then they get
They
to
cut
the
the
top,
rope?
and they cut the rope, and he falls. But he
I
doesn't
knew
fall.
it.
He catches the wall, and he starts to climb up a little bit, but it's hard for him. And Fassini's like, Spaniard, you're my Spaniard. Stay here and kill him. And he's like, but that does not seem fair. I will use my left hand, as to be fair. And he says, fine, just do it your way. And then him and Physique and Buttercup leave. So then Inigo Montoya, he looks over there and she says, can you hurry it up a bit? And then the man in black, he's wearing a mask. He's like climbing. He's like, I would like
Men in
some
Black.
help. And he helps him up because he's a respectable man. And he lets him take his breath. And
And then he's the villain.
no. So Inigo Montoya, he explains his backstory, which in the book is like 5 chapters of shit.
Really?
But mm-hmm.
It's like 5 minutes or like 1 minute in the.
Yeah, it's about like a minute. And it sums it like the whole thing up pretty well. Basically,
His dad died. That's like the only thing we need to know about him.
You killed my father, and now you die.
Toons killed his brother?
His dad was killed by a 6-fingered man.
Yep.
So after
That's like-
Inigo Montoya,
That's like the sister was killed with the guy with 2 right hands.
yeah, it's like in JoJo.
And then we thought, like, hey, isn't this just ripped from JoJo?
It came out in the 90s. Actually, no, wait, because also
No, they
came out
probably stole it from
in the
Princess Bride.
Princess Bride came first.
I mean, yeah, they both came out in the 90s, though.
So then they fight, and Man in Black very good at fighting.
I noticed this. I looked at the guy and I'm like, he's fighting with his left hand. They're gonna play a joke with that.
And then he's actually right-handed also.
So they were both
So they
fighting with their left hand, and they're like, "Oh, we were both holding back," and then they both fight regularly.
I forgot about this raw-ass line. He says, "You're a decent fellow. I hate to kill you, and you're a decent fellow. I hate to die."
Yeah.
So then they fight, and it's great swordsmanship, great dialogue. Inigo Montoya, he loses.
Okay, but did Toons kill his brother?
No, but he doesn't die. He just gets bopped on the head and passes out.
Yeah, he doesn't kill
So
him,
then-
which is respectable.
Mm-hmm. So he keeps going, and when Vicini's like, "You, the giant, stay here and kill him your way." He says, "What is my way?" And he says, "Pick up one of those rocks, hide behind a boulder. What do you say? His head come round the rock, hit him with the rock." And so then,
Okay, but why didn't he just drop a piano in his head?
and then he says, "My way is not very sportsmanlike." So he throws a rock at him when he comes around the corner, and he says, "Let's just fight it based on strength." And then we get Physique's backstory while they're fighting, which is also like 3 chapters in the book.
He has a backstory. I don't remember this.
Yes.
So it's like 30 seconds in the movie.
It's kind of he was a professional wrestler where he came from in Greenland, just fighting fighting hordes of people, for sport, for like a job, until he stopped doing that.
A JoJo reference.
Real. And so he explains that while they're fighting, because he said he's just fighting
one guy,
the man in black
fights 10
versus and that's what he explains, and that's why he loses.
Mhm.
Because he gets choked out. So then he's gone, and he runs, and he catches up to Vicini, and Vicini's like, "This is a peak scene. This is some highlight shit."
I know the meme from this where he's like, "You're trying to steal what I rightfully stole."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Vicini is sitting down at a table with some wine and some stuff, with a
some
knife
cheese,
to
yeah.
Buttercup's neck, and he says, "You're here for the thing that I stole. So, we're gonna duel for it. You've clearly so you've beaten my Spaniard, my giant. So we're gonna have a battle of wits because I have wits. So we're gonna fight based on wits. And so Man in Black agrees. He takes out this poison. He says, "Smell this." I don't smell anything. It's iodine poison from Australia. Or no, he doesn't say for it's. He's just it's iodine poisoning. No smell, no taste. And he puts it. He turns around with the cups of wine, and he puts it in one. And he comes back, and he mixes them around, puts them in front. The battle of wits is Vicini has to guess which wine has the poison.
Okay,
Both wine has the poison.
And then he drinks it and he dies and it
No.
Oh my we don't need to talk about the scene any more than that.
Yes, we do. We need to talk about like a fire ass line that is you fell victim to one of the classic blunders. Only second to the first one. Never accept land from an Asian man.
So 90s.
It is such a fucking good movie, dude. So poison was actually in both of them, and they escaped. And also,
I told you they were going to be in both. I deadass might have watched this movie like a really long time ago when I was a really small kid.
Yeah.
It was in both. They actually had an immunity to it. And then they run. And
I'm kind of mad they killed him because it would have been funnier to see him in the rest of the movie.
Yeah. But Man in Black, Buttercup realizes he's the pirate. He's the pirate that killed Wesley, dead pirate Roberts.
Wow.
And so now Man in Black explains his backstory of him being Dread Pirate Roberts. He's like, I'm Dread Pirate Roberts. I remember your fucking dumbass boyfriend. And she's like, fuck you! And slaps him.
And
he falls down a hill.
And the audio is so bad. It looks so fake.
And then she's like, oh my god, it's Wesley, because he said, as you wish, and she jumps down the hill and they roll down.
Yeah, no, it was one of the most obvious twists I've ever seen in my life. I can't even call it a twist.
Nope.
The Man in Black was Wesley, and he wasn't dead. They didn't kill the love interest off in the first 5 seconds. What?
No way. So then they escape to the fire swamp, because that's their only way out against Humperdinck and his men. And run into the fire swamp. And here's when Wesley explains his backstory. That takes up like 7 chapters in the original.
Where that actually chapters in the original.
There is, and they put them well into the movie. It's a very good adaptation.
I mean, it's by the guy that wrote the original book.
Is it?
Yeah, I looked in the credits. It said screenplay by guy who wrote the original.
Oh, very cool. So,
actually, the movie came out in 1987.
Whatever. Kill yourself. So they're in the fire swamp, and he's like, actually, I did get taken aboard by the great pirate, Dread Pirate Roberts. And I said, please don't kill me. I have true love. And he said, okay.
Okay, I have definitely seen this movie before.
5 years later, he's the new Dread Pirate Roberts. And he goes to get Buttercup. And then they're in the fire swamp, and they do the fire swamp stuff. And there's some shit, there's cool ass shit, there's the popping flame geysers, and the quicksand. And then they're like, what about the RUSs? He's like, rodents of unusual size?
Yeah.
I don't think they exist. And then he gets attacked by an RUS. Funny as fuck. Then they kill it, and they get out. But then Humperdinck's men is there. All of them. And they're like, oh no! They're gonna kill me and Wesley. And Princess Buttercup is like, no, please don't kill him. Get him to his ship, let him go, and I'll marry you. Fine. I just don't want him to be dead. So then she leaves with Humperdinck. And Wesley notices the, Rugal, whatever the fuck his name is, the right-hand man, he has 6 fingers on his hand.
Yeah, this is where the film kind of goes downhill.
He's Jay Giles?
Yeah.
He's Jay Giles?
This is the mid part. He's Jay Giles. And then
he does the duel with the 3 people. That's peak. And then you have this kind of weird mid area that's not good.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
But he's like, hey, there's someone who's looking for a 6-fingered man. And he bops him on the head and passes out.
Inigo Montoya is on screen, that's when you know it's a good part.
Also, by the way, when Wesley gets knocked out in that scene, his actor actually got knocked out.
That's
They had to
crazy.
stop filming for the day.
That's so 90s.
It's
So
80s,
then-
by the way.
So then, Wesley wakes up. He's tied naked to this bench thing, and this creepy old guy. He's like, you're gonna. So
I think that's
You're
the
in the
grandpa.
you're in the torture dungeon right now. And so he's in the torture dungeon, and the six-fingered man comes down. He says, I strapped you to the machine. It's going to suck your life force out of you.
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how does this feel? And it's the most agonizing pain he's ever. And he's like, very interesting. So Buttercup basically doesn't do anything for this next part. She's just there. She's in the movie. What we really want to focus on is the fact that Inigo Montoya has gone back to being drunk.
Yeah, he's just drunk in a forest.
Until Fezzik comes up and he's like, hey, you are drunk again. Get up, we must go. And he says, okay, I must go. And then he's realizing, he's like, I need to find the six-fingered man. I gotta go do my thing that I do for the whole movie. And then he's like, wait a minute. We gotta go save Buttercup. And then he says, wait a minute. The guy, the man, he will help us. We need to find him. But he was already dead. He got killed by the machine because Humperdinck killed him. So sad.
Yeah, no, guys, he's
Crap.
totally dead. Not like the other time in the beginning of the movie where we said he was dead. This time he's actually dead.
He's dead. So they take him to this guy played by Billy Crystal, Miracle Max. And they take him to him, and they're like, we got a dead guy. Can you fix him? And he says, okay. And then he's like, guys, turns out this guy's not dead. He's almost dead, which is not the same as completely dead. So then they make a little guy, a chocolate, and they're like, okay, give this to him in 15 minutes for maximum potency. But they ain't got 15 minutes, so they put it in now, and now he's a limp thing for this next bit, Wesley. And so then they're like, what if to get into the castle that we need to get into to save Buttercup, we'll set Andre the Giant on fire, and he will be Drip Pirate Roberts, and run away all the guards, all 30 guards.
60.
And then they all run. It's 30
60.
guards.
No, because they said 30 guards, and the guys like double it, and then now there's 60.
Oh,
I'm
okay, now there's 60
Bride
guards.
fan. I knew that.
Yeah. So then they get in the castle, and Wesley's still a limp biscuit, and they go, and Buttercup's getting married. She's getting married now. And she also said that once they get married, if Wesley isn't saving her, she's going to kill herself. That is what she says. And Prince
I'm surprised
Humperdinck
this movie
says
is
the
rated like, was it G or PG? Like, it felt too.
Bro, it was the 80s though.
Oh, no, like bro, like one scene, bro literally gets stabbed, and you see like literal like blood on his shirt, and like the girl's like, I'm gonna kill myself, and I'm like, this would not fly for PG back today.
Bro, here's the rawest line though. Please consider me as an alternative to suicide.
Yeah.
Raw line.
Raw.
Okay, but now here's the hitting question. What is better, The Princess Bride or the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory?
Princess Bride.
I haven't rewatched Willy Wonka in a long time, but I do like Princess Bride more in my mind right now.
Well, here, I'll wrap it up. They save Buttercup because they're raw as hell.
Yeah.
And then Inigo Montoya finds the six-fingered man and kills him. It's raw ass
And
way.
he
He
keeps
almost
saying
dies.
his iconic line.
He hit that his name is Inigo
Zed.
Montoya. You killed my father. Die.
That is such a raw line that they say it 20 times
And they
in the movie.
forgot they forgot what to do with Fezzik. So he just disappears for a little bit, and he says, "Look, I found 4 white horses. I said there will be 4 of us if we ever find the lady. Hello, lady." And then they jump on the
What
horses
I really
and
like
they
is the
leave.
scene where Inigo almost kills the guy. He's like, tell me you'll offer me anything I want. He's like, I want my dad back, you son of a bitch, and stabs him. That That was so good.
Raw ass line. There's a lot of raw ass lines and a lot of really cool lines.
Yeah.
Like, inconceivable. You keep saying that word. I do not think it means what you think it means.
Yeah. This movie is like literally peak. It's crazy.
That's what I said. So you gave it 4 stars.
You guys have
right?
no idea how my rating system works. 4 stars is like an amazing movie.
He gave it a bad review in a way that he said better than Velma season 2.
No, because I was
Just
talking with Aiden about should I watch Princess Bride or Velma season 2.
Yeah, he literally was like deciding between those two, as if those were like equals in any way.
So
well,
true.
speaking of Velma season 2,
no, I explained too much. Somebody explain something
Oh,
else.
I can talk.
Need to go get my
I'll
dog
go
on.
through my stuff because I don't have a lot, at least for the normal Beck line to load. Okay, first thing I watched. Do you
wait, Beck? Are you still in senior elimination?
I am still in senior elimination. I don't really have any stories for this week, but I'm still in.
How was Purge Day?
Yeah, it was a free-for-all day. I got one guy out in one of my classes.
It was really funny. Right when I was walking during lunch, when I was walking to advisory, I saw 2 guys like surround a girl, tag her with the ball. She goes, no, and then both guys go, yeah, let's fucking go, and high five each other.
Okay, like the thing, you're most vulnerable is I noticed this. It's like right after the bell rings in one of your classes, because you'll just be on your computer not realizing the bell just rung. You'll not be holding your ball, and then someone goes and tags you.
Okay, why would you not be holding your ball
Sounds
while
like
you're
stupid, Beck.
Yeah, why would you not be holding your ball while
set
using
an
your
alarm for 1:48 to go off in the middle of class to remind myself to hold my ball.
Bro, you don't keep it on your desk?
I know I do, but the thing is, it's a free-for-all day, Aiden. So the
You
person
don't keep it
behind
in
me
your
can tag
hand
me if it's right after the bell
24/7?
rings.
I did. What's a free
You
for all
can
day?
get
We didn't have
anyone,
those.
anyone not holding their ball, you can get out.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I know.
What if
It's
you just
amazing.
never
You
let
can
go of
get
your
whoever you
ball?
want out.
What if you never let go of your ball?
I mean, that's
what
what
I did basically. I didn't. No one tagged me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You will.
I was holding it during my movie. Okay, I'm gonna go through. Do you guys know the movie Her, starring Joaquin Phoenix?
No.
With it. Spike, here's a little fun fact. Wait, what's
A
the
fun
movie? So Spike Jones and Sophia Coppola were married, and they each made movies kind of about their marriage after they divorced, and they both won the adapted best like original screenplay Oscar. And Her is Spike Jones's movie, and I don't know Sophia Coppola's, but yeah.
Okay, let me just be completely honest. This movie took me 6 sittings to get through. Now, it's not because it was like really bad. It was just because it was pretty boring. But I'd already gotten most of the way through. I'm like, maybe I should just finish it. So
Maybe
it's this guy, and then he decides, or then he gets like an AI girlfriend, and the AI girlfriend like
Damn, it's predicting real life.
kind of grows as a person, and then she breaks up with him. And then that's the end.
Breaks up with him?
Yeah, the AI breaks up with him. But there was a really good scene, I think, where it's like the AI is like, "Oh, sorry, I was offline." The guy's like, "Wait, are you talking to other people?" And she has to say like, "Yeah, I'm talking with 10,000 other people right now." And he's like, "How many people are you in love with right now?" And she says 937. And I'm like, "Wow,
real.
that was fucking hurt."
Bro has more game than Beck Lions.
Damn.
Now, that's hard to do.
Wow. Okay, but yeah, it's kind of average movie. I just wanted to watch it because every time people are like, AI girlfriend, they keep mentioning the movie Her, and I'm like, maybe I should watch it, and it was kind of just average.
So, Beck, are you thinking of getting an AI girlfriend yourself?
No, I am not.
Why?
Because I don't want her to break up with me,
No.
Beck Lions. Why don't you take your AI girlfriend to prom on like one of those like the moving screens? Yeah, one of those.
Yeah, no.
Just roll it around prom.
Give your AI girlfriend a robot body, Beck.
All right, next thing I watched. Now, I just want to state one thing.
Yeah.
I asked Aiden Tuesday, do you want to see a movie with me? $6 tickets that day. I offered him 4 separate movies, and he said no to all of them.
I didn't want to see any of them.
Okay, the first movie he didn't want to see that I watched was Civil War with Nikola. And now, quick note, never watch an emotional movie with Nikola, because he will be whispering you when someone is crying, what a dumb bitch, I hope they get shot in the head.
That's funny as fuck.
90% of the emotional moment is Nikola looking over me saying, I hope this person dies.
Okay, but
I did say that.
You gotta remember about Nikola, he has the emotional depth of a rock.
I know.
Well, I think that is very deep emotional depth.
Civil War. This movie was advertised very badly. It was advertised a lot more as an action movie rather than kind of like slow drama. Or at least that's what I felt from the trailers. But
let's talk about
it. It was Uri's movie of the year, and I can see Uri why it's your movie of the year. I thought it was an amazing movie.
I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
Not as good as Ricky Stenicki, though.
Yeah, it's hard to top.
Not as good as Dune
2.
But let's talk about it.
Movies of the year is Uri Civil War, Aiden Ricky Stenicki, Nikola Dune 2, and then
I don't know what mine would be other than Ricky Stenicki.
Wait,
why over Dune 2?
Me, I probably also have Dune 2.
Dune 2 is just so good.
3 separate favorite movies of the year.
Dune 2 is so fucking
can we talk about
Civil War? Civil War.
Yeah.
So, Uri, since it's your favorite, if you want to start us off.
So essentially, we come into a place where this movie starts. There's like a civil war in America, modern civil war in modern America. There's like different factions across the U.S. They do this really smart thing where they don't really tell us why they are fighting, kind of pointing out the war.
I think we can kind of deduce that it happened because the principal took, because the president took a third term.
Yeah, and he became dictatorial. But it's like they really show how kind of like the brutality of war in this movie. So we follow 4 photojournalists as they make their way through the country to interview the president. And it's a kind of like a twisted road trip movie in a way.
Yeah.
Where we see a lot of different parts of the of like the country, and like they get into a lot of violent situations. There's this really excellent scene with Jesse Plemons' character.
Yeah, that was a fire scene.
Where essentially
I think that was like the best scene in the movie.
Yeah, no. For whatever you say about the entire movie, that scene, it has to be one of the most iconic movie scenes, I think, that will ever be in like the next decade.
The one thing I want to say is they made the gunshots really loud in the theater.
Sorry, which scene was it?
Like, it was crazy. Like, they did not tone them down at all.
Go back like 1 second. What scene were you talking about?
The Jesse Plemons, the pit full of people scene.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of American are you kind of scene?
Was it like Batman?
What?
The Dark Knight.
It was not like Batman, The Dark Knight Rises.
The pit?
It was not like the pit.
Okay.
They do not snap his back.
Anyway, essentially 2 of in the scene, I'll explain it really quick. 2 photojournalists get like kidnapped and the other just try to save them. And then one of them is like a crazy kind of like gun nut kind of military man, but he's not in the military. And he's all like, because he's like, I guess he's very racist and stuff. He's all like, because like there's an Asian.
Is he not in the military? When do we learn that he's not in the military?
People in the scene.
When do we learn that he's not in the military?
Well, they never they stated they say he's not military and stuff. But
no, they just said the only times they said that was that they said, "Oh, are all the bodies in the truck? Are they in uniform?" They said no, they're not in military uniform. Both the guy and the other people around the truck were in military uniform, and they were using military trucks. I do think it was the military.
I don't know. It wasn't because there was they weren't official. They were just like crazy guys. But
where did it say it was not official? Because I remember them having the official.
They were crazy guys.
No, because I want to make sure you're getting your facts right. Because clearly you're getting your facts wrong.
They were crazy guys.
Is Nikola kept leaning over me and saying all the mistakes with the aircraft and cars. It was crazy. It was like, the railgun on this helicopter.
Okay, I didn't say anything
that way. It uses this different other kind of bullet. And these planes actually were made in California, so they would be part of the California Army.
I didn't say anything about the cars, but I did say, though, he is correct. I said the A-64 has a chain gun, not a minigun. I said it actually does make sense for the Western forces to be using F-22 since a lot of the F-22s are in the West Coast and stuff like that.
Anyway, so the scene where essentially Jesse Plemons and his crew essentially they're kidnapping them and like he's asking what kind of American are you? You know, Central American, South American. And they're like, no, we're from I'm from like Florida. And then he goes up to the Asian guy.
Answer.
Oh,
wait. So if you literally just don't live in California, Texas.
No, they are militants.
No,
Wikipedia says they are militant.
They want like people Central America. It felt like there's like different I don't know what the map is, but like there's like they were part of one of the factions and they only wanted.
No, as long as they were from like states in America, he was fine with that.
Yeah.
It was like when they said.
But no, he seemed really hesitant for the Florida guy, and they were like, yeah.
Anyway, you're getting too bogged down into the details. We are. It's just the. So essentially, it's like he shoots like the guy who says, "I'm from Hong Kong, idiot." But essentially, well, I would say this movie, it's a really kind of a beautiful movie. Like they do so much. The action scenes are really, really intense, and I really like the gunshots. Like it's really to rattle you on like kind of like your pressure. It's like you feel kind of in the shots. They do really beautiful cinematography. It's like they do scenes where it's just music, and that's really beautiful. They do
Wildfire. I thought was like amazingly beautiful. You know.
Yeah. They do these things where they as they take the photo, the screen becomes into the photo, and you see like the photo clip. And essentially. With this movie, it does like this really good character arc with our two lead photojournalists, where essentially, she's like hardened by all the things she's seen, and she's like, you know, she goes to the other younger
called chromatic aberration panic attacks.
Yeah, and
yeah, I know what she's talking about.
The chromatic aberration of the camera gets really big, so you can tell.
It's kind of just to show that she's in that kind of like visions panic attack mode.
Yeah.
And essentially there's a younger photojournalist who really wants to be like this older one, and then they do this thing in the movie that ties back to later, and they say like, you know, if I was shot, would you take a photo of me? And she says, do you have to ask? And then so essentially there's in the final sequence of the movie, they're rushing up to the White House because the Western force the Oval Office. The Western forces are planning to kill the president, and as they like get to the Oval Office, the older one, the younger one, he's really getting to the mode. He's taking all the photos, and she's about to get shot.
I feel bad to stop you here.
You ruined my fucking.
The one stupid thing is she uses a physical film camera, and I'm like, if you went out a film while you're storming the Oval Office, you would hate yourself for the rest of your life. You're like, shit, I'm out of film.
Yeah, but she's about to get shot, but then guess what? The older photojournalist, she does decide to save her, and but then she gets shot as well. And guess what?
Oh.
The younger photojournalist, she takes the photo of her getting shot, showing how that they kind of went on reverse kind of character arcs in a way, where she softens at the end of her life, and she becomes the new.
Because she gets a chromatic
kind of marked, because she gets the chromatic. It gets passed on.
And that's
the trauma gets passed on.
That was Uri's review, and I thought it was good that I noticed that.
And there's this really cool thing they do where it's like one of the male photojournalists, like he's all like, he goes up to the president, it's like, you have anything like a quote, and he says,
you wanted an interview with the president. That was his whole thing.
And he's like, don't let them. And the president is like, don't let them kill me.
Yeah.
And he said, that'll do. And then they shoot him dead.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
wow.
And I do like
it's just kind of.
That's actually a play on the beginning of the movie. That's actually a play on the beginning of the movie when he talks to the mentor guy, the older guy, and the guy's like, when you meet these guys like Gaddafi and Hitler, they're never what you think they are. They're always lesser men than you think they are.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just kind of like, this movie was so kind of beautifully tragic. It's severely anti-war, this movie.
Yeah,
that's why. That's I think that my main issue with it. It doesn't show how amazing and badass war is. There weren't enough F-22s blowing
this
up.
This made me less war, and this made Nikola more pro-war.
Yeah, I don't know. I think seeing the F-22s and attack helicopters blowing up DC was pretty badass. I think we should get more of that.
Personally, Nikola wants Civil War to happen, so we can fucking.
Me personally, I think it wasn't realistic enough. I think that in reality, they would also be using drones and other military vehicles than just the ones we saw.
Yeah, Nikola would probably find the fucking Florida Alliance or something.
Why would I be in the Florida Alliance?
Like is this one small scene where they're at a gas station and they're trying to like buy gas and they're like, we're gonna be $300 and you're like $300 buys you a sandwich and they say 300 Canadian. It's like that's like a small detail where they're like using Canadian dollars because the
it's just so that inflation has gone to shit.
Yeah.
You know where else inflation has gone to shit?
Bye, Mom.
But I don't know, it was so good, this movie, I would say. It's like I just like really enjoyed kind of like the crafting of the movie and like the characters. I think this might be a big Oscar contender for 20.
I wasn't thinking that before I saw the movie, but after this, yeah, it was definitely an Oscar contender.
Kristen Dunst might, I think, get like Best Actress nomination.
Yeah. And I feel like the younger journalist might not get one just because she's younger, but I feel like she also kind of deserves one.
Yeah, no, and like there's so many like really iconic kind of imageries of this movie, I would say.
From the beginning, I thought the one that was gonna die before the end of the movie was actually gonna be the young girl. I thought the whole point, I thought it was gonna be like, oh, like right before they make it to DC, she would die. And that's what's gonna be like the big dramatic twist.
I was sad the old guy died. I really liked it.
Yeah.
That's why when Beck says he was whispering over and I was saying, oh, she's gonna get shot in the head, that's like kind of the stuff. I was like, after like during some of the scenes, I'm like, okay, this is probably where they're gonna kill her.
Yeah.
I like this is when I'm gonna be like, this is exactly when the bullet's gonna go square through her forehead.
I would say in the way that this movie is kind of like a whiplash in a way, like the character arcs of like, you know, she became the thing, like the kind of like the older like person, like she finally achieved like what she wanted at kind of like the cost of herself.
Definitely not as good as Whiplash, but I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, definitely not as good as Dune 2.
Okay,
but I see where you're coming from.
Definitely not as good as Ricky Stinicki.
Other things I watched. I'm gonna go do this other one last. 2001: A Space Odyssey.
That's a golden movie. It's so boring, but it's so good.
Aiden and Uri, I think. Did Uri, were you there when we watched it?
Yeah. I think so.
I was there. I watched it in class. Remember, we were all in video production.
Yeah, no, we were all in video production and we watched it.
Dude, that's such a boring ass movie. I hate that movie.
It's so long, but it's such an era-defining movie.
So I'm like, okay, I gotta watch it.
Of all time?
Wait, who's
he doesn't
favorite
watch
movie?
a lot of movies. He said, yeah. So I'm like, I'll watch it with him.
Okay, 2001 Odyssey is like an era-defining movie, but it's so slow. That's its biggest issue.
It is very slow.
It's split into 4 fucking movies, and only the third one is entertaining.
Really? Okay, I get where you're coming from. 3 is definitely the main one. So
Beck, tell me one thing in the 4th scene of the 4th movie. Tell me anything that fucking happens.
I will tell you. So like,
they find the monolith on the moon.
He goes up to Jupiter, and then he goes into a room, and then he ages a lot, and then he turns into a baby.
Yeah. So that's
no. That scene when he's dying on his bed, he looks up and it's the obelisk. I don't understand what it means, but that shot goes so hard.
No, I agree that shot goes hard. But Beck, can you explain something to me? How do you fucking watch the 20-minute scene of fucking flashing colors? Are you a 5-year-old watching Melon?
It is a really long
scene. But it's about the symbolic meaning.
To stop at that point, okay?
He was lost in the sauce.
I think it went on a bit too long.
Aiden, you don't enjoy the monkey movie?
No, the monkey movie's good, but I've seen that one like 4 times.
Favorite scene in all of cinema.
I've seen the monkey movie like 4 times, so it kind of
gets annoying. I do really like the monkey movie. It shows like human evolution very well.
It does show human evolution very well.
But yeah, I don't know. I kind of maybe sitting down finally watching. Maybe the conditions were just right, but it vibed with me a lot this time watching it.
Yeah, I don't really get it, but I get it. But I don't get it.
Other thing I watched literally like 2 hours ago, Monkey Man, another movie Aiden did not want to watch with me.
Nope, I did not want to watch Monkey Man.
Might have saved
Based off
himself
of
by doing
what
that.
you've said, based off of what you've said about Monkey Man, I mean, it's kind of what I was expecting based off the trailers.
Okay,
It's just Indian John Wick.
It is. It's not.
I don't know
not.
if you can say that. But okay.
You would think that from the trailers, but there's so much less action than you would think. My only problem with the movie is it feels so generic. So here's what it is. It's this this like Buddha type guy, very like big religious figure, and he claims this guy's land as holy land, and he sends in the police to kick them off their land. And then the chief of police kills this guy's mom, and he goes for revenge. He trains, he goes, he tries to take on the guy the first time, but he fails. So he has to go rest in a village, and there's a training montage. Then he goes back, and he finally kills the chief of police. He gets his revenge. And then he kills the priest guy, and that's the end.
Wow.
It feels so generic, although the cinematography is really good. There was a really good fight scene in the third act where they're in a kitchen, and it's really good. There's one scene where this guy in an elevator has the knife, and he has the knife against his throat. The guy pushes in, he can't get it enough. The guy bites the hilt of the knife and uses his mouth to drag it more into his neck. That was badass. But other than that, I was bored during a lot of the movie. It felt pretty generic, and I wasn't really vibing with it.
Bro was bored for some of the movie though.
But yeah, it's definitely shot very well. The music's pretty good, but I just didn't like the plot a lot. All right. Game of Thrones. I only really watched one episode, so I don't really want to talk about it. But I'll just review it all next week. Next thing I watched, Perfect Blue. Now, this is a film that people have like called the best film ever made. So I'm like,
what?
That's crazy.
I just see it a lot on these like really like highly rated film like lists.
Which movie?
Perfect Blue.
What the fuck is? I've never heard of this movie.
Okay, yeah, no, because it's like a Japanese film, came out in 1997. But it's kind of this came out before Black Swan, but it's like kind of like Black Swan. So here's what it is. There's this girl. She's Japanese. She lives in Japan, and she is like a Japanese like pop artist, and she's part of this group.
Wait, can you hold on a second? The girl lives in Japan. And she's Japanese. And she's a Japanese pop artist?
This is a twist I'm not seeing coming.
Yeah, right? This is crazy.
Wow, okay. Yeah.
Wait, Beck. Is a Chinese person in China Chinese? Wait. Someone write this down.
What the fuck is this saying?
Doing a concert in Japan, okay?
Bro is not cooking.
Set the setting. This takes place in Japan, okay?
Oh, wait, it takes place in Japan.
Wait, Beck, is this a Japanese person?
Okay, I was confused. Okay, I get it now. Okay, wait, I think I understand.
Got it. Okay. So, they're doing this concert performance, and we find out that her agent is like, we don't make a lot of money doing all these pop songs. You have to become an actor. And she's like, okay, fine. Doesn't really push back, but you can tell she kind of liked being a pop artist. And then she
liked being a pop artist. Okay.
And then she's like, okay, fine. She goes to do acting. And they put her in like this procedural film, or like procedural crime show. And then throughout all this time, we see like this stalker is kind of stalking her. And then she finds this website that's like basically all her inner thoughts that she didn't write, but are just up on there.
Oh, wow.
And then she's kind of freaked out by that. So she's doing all this acting stuff, and it's like, okay, I need to like do this because like I'm no longer a pop artist. I have to do this acting stuff. And she does the acting, and then the agent is like, okay, we gotta do this. And she goes, and then she like keeps having to do like stuff she doesn't want to do, and like the acting stuff, and it's like the whole film is kind of like her being pushed down the route of this acting when she really wants to go back to the time when she was a pop artist, and then she keeps getting these visions of like the past version of herself kind of mocking her, being like, I'm the true version
Being
of
like,
you.
broke girl.
And then you have this whole dream sequence where it's like, she does this thing, but turns out she was actually acting for the show, but then she wakes up and it was the day before, and then all this stuff, and it goes like this weird, like 4 levels deep Inception kind of dream sequence. And then it kind of ends with, turns out one of her managers has a split personality disorder and thinks that she's her, and then she chases her, and she sees herself as the agent, like the past version of herself, but in the reflection you can see it's the agent, and they go chasing across the cities of Japan, and then eventually like the main girl wins, and the agent girl is pretending to be her, is about to get hit by a bus, but she dives in, texts them, and like finds out the agent is going to the hospital, and then she stands there and is like, I know who I am, cut to credits and happy music. So
what is this a movie metaphor for?
I don't know. To be honest, it's hard to describe this movie, but it gives like a really good vibe when you're watching it. Like it really like brings you into it.
It gives a good vibe.
It brings you into
it.
Yeah. I don't really like the ending. I feel like the twist didn't make a lot of sense with like the agent being her. That I like.
Yeah,
but,
that
like,
made me confused.
I know it was confused. It was out of the blue for me too. I had no idea. It's
out of the blue.
Yeah. Okay. But
blue.
I get.
Wait, I know why you watched this movie, because you are blue.
But, like, I get when people say like this is like a 10 out of 10 movie, because like there are parts of it that are done like insanely well. Also, one of the problems is I very much regret watching this in dub, because some of the dub voice lines are terrible. Like,
stop watching stuff in dub, dude.
No, you just watch it. And he's silent. Dub. He's silent for 90% of the movie, and the first line he sounds like a hillbilly. It's so bad. It took me so much out of it. It's
you the perfect blow.
Yeah, that was my bad. But I do think it's an amazing movie. I just didn't really vibe with the ending. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I would recommend it. I think you guys would probably like it.
It's an anime?
Yeah, it's animated. It's only an hour and like 20 minutes. It's pretty short. Yeah, but that's all I watched.
Yeah, guys, I want to share a little story.
Ooh, yeah.
I'd love to hear your little story.
So there's this movie called Ye Tu Mama Tambien, which in Spanish,
I can't wait to hear about this.
I'm your mama also?
It means and your mother also.
Oh, okay.
And so this movie, guys, it's a very good movie, I'm gonna say. It's a good movie. It's a good movie. It's like very, very emotional, very kind of like, it's like a road trip movie. The guy who made this essentially wanted to make like a road trip movie, because a lot of road trip movies go through America, but he wanted to like explore American politics and American geography. So he wanted to do that, but for Mexico. And so it's a foreign film. It's all in Spanish.
Wow.
And so right now in our film history class, we're learning about foreign films in the early kind of 90s and 2000s era. And so this movie, essentially, it's we follow these 2 teenage boys, and they're like, they might not have the best opinions, but it's not the director's like showing his opinions through them, showing like how kind of dumb these teenage boys are, and like they're sex crazed essentially. This movie, guys, this movie is very much straight up porn, but it's like a lot of narrative in it.
Is it like gay porn or straight porn? Like, would you recommend it to me, a person who likes women? Or would you recommend it to Nikola, a person that likes men?
Yes.
Okay.
What the fuck?
Actually, I'm going to say this, both.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so essentially, one of the first scenes is all like, so it kind of like one of the guys is having sex with his girlfriend, and like we see all but the actual action. Like we see him going into her, but we don't actually see because like, okay, imagine she's here and this is him, so he's doing this, and like we see her like her pubic hair and stuff. Like he's going in like this.
We not need to be this detailed. Do we need to be this detailed?
Yes, we watch this in class. We're college, dude.
He is in college.
It makes more sense if it's a college, yeah.
Yeah, true.
And so it's a very, very sex-driven movie. And so they meet a woman, like an older woman at like a wedding, and like you say they want to fuck her. They're all like,
of course.
They're all like, you should go on a road trip with us. And after she finds out her husband is cheating on her, she says like, yeah, I'll go with the teenage boys. And this movie is like a crazy like road trip through Mexico, where they, so here are like some things that happen in the movie. And guys, my class, they were really, really into it. I'll explain. So
question: what's the proportion of males in your class?
There's quite a few males and quite a few females. So
wait, what is the Ithaca like gender?
What do you think is the ratio from men to women in that class?
I don't know, but essentially
probably at least one man and also probably one woman.
Yeah, no,
essentially,
at least one.
Before I explain some of the more things, they do this kind of really cool narrative structure where they have like a voiceover guy, and I would say in most cases I don't like voiceover narration that much, but in this movie they do this really cool thing where they have like a scene and then like it'll just take a silent pause and then they'll have some guy explaining. And so in the future, these guys will never meet again. And like do this kind of thing where it's like a narration that goes anti to what the scene means. Like they'll let two guys like be like, see, like a guy will be like on a fisherman will leave on his boat and like he's kind of leaving with kind of like a purpose, and the narration will be like the guy he never would fish again. And it's like it's really cool the way they do it. It's like anti to the scene in a way, and it's really kind of well done. Essentially, here are some scenes in the movie, guys.
Yes, describe them.
And this is what got your class riled up.
Yeah. There's a scene. I'll tell you why the class. There's a moment where everybody
level of weirdness.
It's. I think it's worse than Saltburn.
Worse than Salt. Oh wow.
Beck, you saw
Saltburn tub one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so. Okay, there's this. I'll get to it, but here's like some scenes in the movie. They're all like, so these guys, they have like both girlfriends, and their girlfriends are gone for like, I guess, the summer. And they make their girlfriends promise, don't have sex with any Italians or Frenchmen or anybody in Europe here. And and so you got this kind of feeling that these guys are, they're very sex crazed, as they're teenage boys, but you definitely get the vibe that they're kind of like into each other, but that's not really fully realized till a bit later. So there's this scene where there's like a pool and there's like two diving boards and they're both jerking it at the same time.
Okay, boys will be boys.
No way.
Yeah, and we see their penises as they do it.
Jesus,
of course.
And
this is the weird. What is this movie even? What?
Ye tu mamá también. And so, and I'll explain why it's the title of that movie soon. So essentially, the woman comes on the road trip. And like she's very sad, and so like they both really want to have sex with her, obviously. And so one of them sees her as she's crying. She's like, come fuck me. And so they fuck, and the other one's all like really sad because he sees them, and so he goes away. And like and then when they go to the pool, he goes to the pool, and then the other friend, after having sex with the woman, he's all like, why are you just so down? It's like, I'm not. He's kind of being like kind of depressed and stuff like that. And then the guy who's being depressed tells to his friend, is like, I actually had sex with your girlfriend. And the guys are like, what? You had
No.
sex with my girlfriend? And then so then they start like a big fight, and then they're in like a car together, and like they're kind of really mad at each other. And then like the guy is still kind of really sad that his friend got to have sex with the woman, and the woman's all like, you know what? I'm gonna have sex with you too, just so we can level out the playing field. And so
What the fuck is this movie about?
And so then he goes out. Now he's depressed. The friend who had sex with her in the first time, and then he
Is there
says,
anything in this movie except sex? Are you sure
No,
your
it's a
teacher
very
didn't just
sexual
put
movie.
Are you sure your teacher did not just put on a porno?
No, it was a good movie. And then the friend goes to the other friend and he says, "Well, I also had sex with your girlfriend."
No.
And
M. Night Shyamalan level of twist.
and then they're like, everything's better now, and they're like, things are like kind of doing some well, and they're like, they're talking at dinner, and they says, this, now that we both have sex with each other's girlfriends and has like sex with a woman, this makes us cum brothers.
Oh, that's what me and Nikola are. Except
What the
in a weird way.
fuck? What the fuck? My parents watched
uncomfortable right now.
Both of our parents watched this.
and then there are like, and then like one of them goes to the other, I also had sex with your mother, so.
And your mother also.
Exactly, that's the title of the movie.
Please make no fucking clips out of this entire part.
I will juice the fuck
This
out
is
of this.
getting like 90% censored.
I love this. This is great.
And then they're all like, and so like, then
This
they're
is
like the
like
hotel
movie
room.
of the year.
They're in the hotel room, all three of them.
Movie of the month.
And all three of them are in the hotel room together. And so she like goes down on her knees and she starts sucking both of their dicks. We don't actually see it, but we see like her head doing it. And then the camera pans up, and guys, guess what happens? They kiss! The boys kiss!
No way. They're gay.
Boys will be
Man.
boys.
Well, we don't know how gay they are,
The
but they
Dua
definitely
Lipa
have some
song.
attraction to each other that's been prevalent throughout the entire movie. And the entire class freaks the fuck out about that. And they all rile up. It's so good,
Boys will be
Don't
boys.
say that, man. Don't say
Yeah.
that they are all riled
I
up.
did hear like that earlier in the movie. I did hear someone like do a moan in the class, so that was
What?
confusing.
So basically,
That's-
everybody in the class starts making out at the end of the movie.
No, but then then the movie's all like, and so they end, because when they wake up in the morning, they're really uncomfortable that they both kissed each other and made love to each other. And so they were like, the narrator
Wait,
says,
what girl were they fucking again?
the woman,
Just a random woman, I think.
it wasn't a random woman. It was like the woman that was on the road trip with them.
Yeah. But like that woman isn't like related to them.
Yeah.
Like their mom.
No, it wasn't their mom. But then, and they're
I
like,
want
the
an
narrator
interview with
just,
this director, like seeing what he wanted to achieve with this.
hey, he's a very acclaimed director.
Do you think he's
done a lot of things.
he's a failed porn director, or he's always wanted to make porn?
That'd be crazy. Some guy that wanted to make porn, but he had to make big budget movies.
Hey, he directed the
Wow.
third Harry Potter
He
movie.
did this
so.
is that guy?
What the fuck?
And that was like one of the best ones. So
Is that one is this one Goblet of Fire?
no, it's the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Oh, that's the one where he's a rat.
And then they're all this narrator thing is like they're really comfortable that the boys kind of made love to each other in the morning, and so they all kind of like go kind of their separate ways. And the narrator says, they didn't see each other for a while, except until they met at like a coffee shop, and like they had this kind of weird conversation where they find out the woman, which we can actually use the whole movie, that the woman that they went on a road trip with, she had cancer the whole time, and she knew, and she died. And it explains her actions more in the movie why she did them.
Oh yeah.
And
Was she just like more frivolous and more of something whatever?
And then they're all like, and then there it says, and those two boys, they never saw each other again. And then there's this thing where like the
So it
guys,
really
they
is
say,
just like Saltburn.
and they say, see you around. but they'll never see each other
I
again.
mean,
It's like a beautiful
that's like a good scene when it's like the last time two people will meet. But that can usually be really good.
They later die in prison.
Yeah.
But no, it was like it's porn, but it's good movie. So
Jesus
Alright,
Christ. Is
at
that how
least
the
he
teacher
admits
ended the
it.
class? So that's
yeah.
how the teacher ended the class. He just turned off the movie and said, "All right, class." So that was basically porn, but it's a good movie.
Yeah. And
What can we learn? All right,
I don't
so
know.
for our next project, we're all
Guys,
going to be
we-
recreating the movie as a class.
We
Yeah.
are doing the Celsius pod. The
No,
Celsius
no, no, no,
No,
no.
cut him.
Cut
Keep
him
it
off,
going.
cut him
Let's
off.
keep
Disconnect
going.
him. Disconnect him.
Celsius Come Brothers. What? I'm sorry.
Shut the
Guys,
fuck up.
we gotta go to a
This
pool.
100%.
We gotta go to a pool and go to like with 4
Nope,
diving
no.
boards.
No, Aiden, quickly talk about Velma.
I don't want
Alright.
to talk about Velma yet. No. Let me talk about a different movie that I
How
watched.
about I do my short stories?
It's gonna
You'll
be
do a short
one.
story.
The only thing I've watched is F1 and the first
No.
like 10 minutes of Maid.
Let's not talk about either of those.
Okay, then I just have to talk about the story.
Okay.
What story?
I'm also.
Oh yeah, story.
Why can't
Also,
no
guys-
fuck y'all? Why are you actually am I letting you guys let me not talk about what I want to talk about? Let me talk about what I want to fucking talk about.
No Maid, but you can talk about F1. No
You don't want to
Maid.
talk about Maid?
Okay.
Why do you
I'm
want to talk
not-
about
you
Maid?
said first 10 minutes. That's
Yeah,
not
that's
any-
nothing.
Yeah, because we have to read it for
You have
we
to
have to-
read the first 10 minutes. I'm confused.
no, we have to read the book, but I'm like it exists as a show on Netflix, so why wouldn't I
Wait,
just
what
watch it as
show?
the show instead of having Maid? It's about like economic disparity and like the
Oh,
like the
wait,
life
talking
of this
about a maid that
person.
like works at a rich person's house,
No, she-
and then they
no,
have
she-
to like learn
she
to
worked-
like.
No, she works as a maid because she has no money. That's the whole point.
Oh, because she's poor.
But yeah,
And we have to read the book for English, but I don't want to read it, so I'm just watching
Okay,
the
but
show.
no, that's kind of a bad idea because they do change a lot.
I don't know.
Not unless
The
you're
teacher said
watching
it
The
was
Princess
just
Bride.
slightly more dramatized. So far, the only thing I have watched in Formula One is I watched about 3 more episodes. One about Ferrari, one about like kind of Daniel Ricciardo and the deal that happened, and
I'll be
then
right back, guys.
one about Pierre Gasly. So this is the 2020 season. Basically, it's talking about how Ferrari is not doing best. Was not doing really good that season. The next episode's about how Daniel Ricciardo basically just moved to Renault, and then right after he moves to McLaren. And I kind of have some spoilers because I know what happens in real life.
Dude, I hate when real
No.
life spoils the
So
documentary.
I
You know?
I know he does not have a great time at McLaren. And then right now, this episode is last season. We had a really big arc about how this one person on, I forgot which team, was able, I think he was on the Toro Rosso team, which is like the training for the Red Bull team. And he did so good. He took Pierre Gasly's seat from him. And then he was on Red Bull and Pierre Gasly was demoted to Toro Rosso. But now it's flipped. So in this episode, we now see that he is no longer doing super good, and now Pierre Gasly is doing super good. And now he is. So now they're going to probably switch again, except in real life, we know they don't actually switch because I don't know why they don't, because he was doing much better this season. So that's Formula One. Also in other news, I'm not actually going to be watching the race in Barcelona.
No,
It was too expensive.
Barcelona?
that was the
I was
one
going to
fun
go to-
thing you had this summer. Your grandma texted you being like, "I'm so excited to watch the F1 race with
I
you."
am going to Barcelona, but I don't know why my grandma. But
No, because we were watching
it
a
was too
Civil
expensive.
War, and then Nikola got a text from
Yeah.
his grandma saying, "I'm glad you're going to the race in Barcelona."
Yeah, I don't know why she said that, because apparently she was going through a travel agency and it was like $4,000 just to get a hotel and plane tickets, which I don't understand why she was going through a travel agency, and also that's just too expensive. So we're not doing it.
Oh, very sad.
Okay, I guess
thinking-
the only other thing to talk about, we already talked about Civil War. You're not letting me talk about Fallout again, even though it's my second watch
Let's hear
through.
your story, Nikola.
All right, so let's set the scene. So this week and next week are the final 2 weeks, basically final 2 weeks of rowing.
Nicholas can then watch more movies with me. Let's go.
Next week, Friday, I'm going to be gone Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
So we're doing it without you next week?
Probably, because that's all going to be, that's probably all going to be rowing. Because that's regional. That's like the final race of the year.
All right. Well, no Nikola episode next week. Steven Universe.
You gotta go to his race and film it.
Yeah, if we should pod like literally like at the race, like camp out there with like a
you guys want to drive down to Sacramento?
We should do podcast but outside for Nikola's thing.
Yeah. So basically, to prepare for next week, the coaches have decided that this week and next week are basically all going to be on water. And because it's too windy in the afternoon, it means every single day has been morning practice.
No, but that's good because that let us go see Civil War.
Wednesday was in the morning. Thursday was in the morning. Today was in the morning. And then Saturday, Sunday is going to be in the morning. And then Monday is going to be in the morning. So I've already been exhausted since Wednesday because morning practice is always you don't get enough sleep. And then the next day you have morning practice again and we're exhausted. And then it's compounded to today. Today, it kind of cumulated. Fuck. It accumulated to we were one of the people didn't show up. So we were already running like 30 minutes late. And then for no reason, despite the weather app saying there's no chance of it, it was started drizzling. On top of that, it was windy, and it's not supposed to be windy during morning practice. That's the whole point of rowing in the morning, is to make sure the water is flat and it's not windy. So, and we're in the Rhythm and Blue. Let me tell you a little bit about the Rhythm and Blue, because the lore of this boat goes hard. This boat is one of the oldest boats in our fleet. It has been through so much, and it is by far the shittiest boat in the fleet. I have a vendetta against this boat. I want to destroy this boat.
Okay.
Nikola doesn't like the boat.
But it costs money to do that, so I am not going to destroy the boat. But yeah. Really? But like it has like a shit ton of problems. Like one of the riggers does not match. A bunch of the riggers are bent downwards.
Nikola, none of us know what this means.
None of the stuff is like attached properly, and there's like a bunch of holes in the boat. There's also a lot of holes in the boat.
When we make money from the Celsius podcast, we're going to buy that boat and explode it.
Okay, that could be Nikola's goal. Mine is gambling.
Yeah, we should do that. So I'm in that boat with a bunch of people. We are already miserable because it's early in the morning. We're all exhausted after already 2 days of morning practice, and it is raining and it is windy and the water is not flat. To top it off, the one of the people on the boat, their foot stretchers came off and they couldn't reattach it. So we can only row by sixes.
Wow. None of us know what that means.
Then we were just doing drills. The wind and the waves and the rain was not pleasant. And I told the coach, hey, could we stop and fix his foot stretchers? He said, let's just get it across and then we'll do it. So we keep rowing. We get to basically the exit of the West Point Harbor, basically the entrance to the channel. And we weigh enough because a small boat passes by that looked like it had a big wake. So we stopped and we just waited for the small waves to go by. Yeah. And it was fine. Then the coach was like, hey, we can fix the seat now. Luckily, I was smart enough that I could see another boat that was a bit bigger and moving much faster with much bigger waves traveling next to it. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to get parallel with that because I don't know if you don't know about boats. If you're perpendicular, it could, especially with like rowing boats, if you're perpendicular, the boat can snap. And so you want to be parallel so that you just ride with the waves.
You should let it snap, though. You hate this boat, though.
I got my boat parallel. The other, I was thinking about it, no, because I don't want to be the one to destroy the boat. I don't want to destroy the boat. If it's not technically like it's my boat, it's my responsibility to like keep it safe. I'm not going to destroy it. It costs money. I'm not doing that. So I get the boat parallel. Keep in mind, there's another boat next to me they also get parallel. So, because they're like with us. So we're parallel to it. The speedboat, keep in mind, he is going full speed with like the maximum wake that he could make, I feel like. And inside the channel, it's a no wake zone. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to be slowing down and like not waking this out. But he didn't care. He was going full speed. It kind of felt intentional because like he slowed down after he passed us and then sped up again and circled back around and went back.
Mm-hmm. Wait, is this another rowing boat or is it just like a regular boat?
No, it was like a barge.
Ah.
Like it was a kind of like a speedboat / barge. I don't know how to describe it. It's like it wasn't a rowboat. It was like an actual like motorboat. Well, I got parallel with it, but apparently parallel wasn't enough for the waves because the waves were maybe that tall. And so basically we're parallel. I get the people to set the boat and we go down one wave. It's a little bump. We go down a second wave. It's another one. And then on the third one, we start tilting a little bit. And then eventually, we tilt enough that the side gunnel is below the waterline. So then water rushes into the boat and it sinks in the first, in 5 seconds.
It's like to the bottom of the canal?
Kind of. I'll explain it more. Just keep in mind, we were already exhausted because of Wednesday and Thursday, because of the morning practice. We were miserable because we were already kind of like moist from the rain and we don't really want to be in that boat. And then also the big waves and the boat itself just was not working. So we were already miserable. So the cherry on top is when all of a sudden the boat just floods with water because we flip sideways.
Was your entire team about to die?
The entire boat is just basically done. To be fair, we overreacted a lot. Like one person was like, everybody make sure you make sure you get out of the boat. Like everybody, they was like, make sure you take your feet out so you're not stuck in the boat while it sinks. I think I was up to my neck in water.
Oh my God.
But I was like standing on my seat. So like I was standing on the coxswain seat. I could feel the boat underneath me and the water was like up to my neck. Everybody was there. They do say captain goes down with the ship. I was the second one off the boat. I said, fuck all of y'all. I do not care about this boat enough to say this. I am going home. So some people like stayed on to like kind of try to like rescue it and get their stuff out of the boat. I said, fuck no. I climbed out of the boat and started swimming.
What did you have on the boat?
Issue is me personally, I have my microphone headset attached by wire to the boat, connected to. So I started swimming away and then I realized, wait a minute, I'm stuck to the boat by the wire and I couldn't get it off my head because it was soaking wet. Thank God I was wearing it over my beanie so I could just rip off the entire beanie and then I had to swim back with my beanie in hand. And I swam back to Brestoke. My phone was in my pocket. Thank God God it's waterproof because it's working fine completely. Thank God it's waterproof. My pants are basically ski pants to protect from the cold because it's super cold in the morning.
Yeah.
They filled with like, it has like 2 layers, like an outer and an inner layer. Between the 2 layers filled with water. I literally had like a bubble of water. So when I was trying to swim, I was also being dragged down by the water inside my clothes. So I was literally sinking personally. Like I was personally just sinking. And I left my Cox box and mic in the boat. I just took all of my personal stuff other than the mic and just swam to the coach's launch, the coach's motorboat, and just got and climbed onto it. And I was just like, yeah, I think I'm going home.
I think that's fair. I don't think you're responsible.
So then another coach came. They hauled it back. And keep in mind, remember that boat next to me?
Yeah.
So nothing happened to them. We took the entire wave for them.
Oh,
like
good.
They said that they didn't even feel a wave at all. We just took it all for them.
Wow.
So yeah, they had to drag the boat back, and then I went home. I think all my stuff is being washed and dried currently because it's a long process to wash all the clothes.
Yeah.
And I took a shower, and then I had to go to school. So that's good.
Great.
And that's an eventful morning.
I like it. I like it a lot.
All right.
An OG.
Do we end with Velma season 2?
That is
Well,
the
I mean, I have
number
two other
one
things that I
best
also
day
watched,
in the
but-
Rhythm of Blue
Bro,
ever.
but like, what if I need to save money at a bank?
Aiden, let's just end with Velma.
What? Okay, fine. I'll talk about the other movie later, but okay, this is an after Velma thing. After Velma, I was like, wow, that was something I watched. Let's watch a good Scooby-Doo movie.
The
So I watched
Legend of
Scooby-Doo
the Phantasaur.
The Legend of Korra.
and the Witch's Ghost. Let me tell you guys, if you're wanting a good classic, this is the best Scooby-Doo, this is the top contender, this is some peak shit. This one has Tim Curry, this one introduces the Hex Girls. Tim Curry absolutely cooks this role. I watched it afterwards and I was like, wow, what a great movie
Is
to
Tim
watch.
Curry the guy that's escaping to the one place not corrupted by capitalism?
Yes.
He's the
that
original.
guy.
He's the original Pennywise.
Yeah.
Okay.
What a cool guy. But I watched that, and that shit's peak.
But then you watch something that's also peak, Velma season 2.
No, I watched that the day before. So
I just want to say I watched episode 1, so I can talk about that.
Okay, Beck, do you want to talk about episode 1?
I will talk about episode 1 because
Yep.
I'm going to blow everyone's mind here.
He watched it again.
episode 1.
Wait,
plot lines.
Beck, did you watch Ye Tu Mama Tambien? That would
There's two
blow my
movies
mind.
that you kind of liked. Oh no.
Okay, so Velma season 2. It starts Velma, Daphne. They're like hanging out. They're like kind of dating right now. But there's romantic tension there, and then they gotta go figure that out. Because she said she liked Shaggy.
As a cliffhanger, remember she said she liked
I don't remember
Norville as a
season 2 at
cliffhanger?
all. I'm like, wait, I thought her mom was dead. But then she showed up. I'm like, oh, she's alive.
Found her, remember?
They found her.
They found her.
And then she got to figure that out. But then there's like a murder of the sheriff, and then this new girl comes to town, and then
hold on. This new girl, their name is Amber, and they are the daughter of Thorn from the Hex.
Oh wait, that's a pre-established character that showed up.
Yes. Holy shit, Beck! You don't know the Hex girl.
I don't. I'm sad to say I am not as big of a Scooby-Doo fan as you.
They're the only other recurring characters. It's literally the mystery. It's literally Mystery Incorporated, Scrappy sometimes, and the Hex Girls sometimes.
Okay. So that happens. There's like the plot lines about the mystery. That's dumb. There's the dating plot line. That's also dumb. But let me tell you something. The Norville and the Fred plot lines I found kind of funny. There were jokes I actually laughed at.
So Fred is a Christian.
Yeah,
now,
no, Fred.
Hunting ghosts.
This one actually kind of had me like audibly laugh. He's like, I found another hot white guy. He tears off his shirt and it's just he's wearing like a priest outfit, and he says Jesus. And I thought that was funny.
Hilarious,
So
Beck.
What a cool guy.
So his whole
peak of comedy
is
for
he's
Beck.
now trying to solve mysteries, with like holy water and like going for like a Christian approach to it, and they have a lot of good jokes around that. And then the other funny thing is Norville is like freaking out because he killed Fred's mom, and he keeps having these funny dreams where it's fake Fred, like threatening him for kind of killing his mom. And I think it was really funny. They're like driving down the street one time, and then it's just Fred saying "You killed my mom" like 8 separate times, like each in a different funny way.
And also he stress eats, and that's how he gets rid of the hallucination. So it's like kind of normal Shaggy-esque. He also gets a crew neck.
He
because
does.
there's too much blood in his other shirt in the V-neck. So he has a crew neck for this episode.
But yeah, that's basically all that happens in episode 1. Aiden, do you want to continue? Because
and also the hot teacher dies, by the way. The hot teacher gets killed.
Okay.
What?
But from my review,
and also our first suspects for the crime are Daphne's parents.
Yes.
That's our first suspect.
Okay, and what I'd like to say is just from watching this, it feels better than season 1. I don't know if it gets worse later in the season, but I'll let Aiden take it away.
Aiden?
It gets both better and worse. All right, what happens in episode 2? Episode 2.
Also, quickly. Stop releasing whole shows at the same time. It makes it really hard because Aiden somehow had the force and willpower to watch, I think, 8 episodes of Velma in one day. 10 episodes of Velma, 5 hours of Velma in one day. I did not have the willpower. I can do weekly. I can't do 5 hours in a day because they go through
it was hard.
and we're filming this Friday night. I have school. I had to watch Monkey Man. I did not have the time to watch 5 hours of Velma.
Beck, would you ever prefer to watch Fallout in weekly?
Yes, I would have preferred to watch Fallout weekly.
Yeah. All right. So here's the thing. There's this thing called Creaky Friday. All the creaky and the creaky on the doors, they all creaky, and they do this cool old-timey animation thing that shows. And then they go to class, all the kids in the school, and the teacher, he's missing, and they're like, why is the teacher missing? And then Velma sees that Fred has a thing, and she's like, can I see the picture that Fred has? And Fred is like, no, because you think my mom is dead, or you want to dig up my mom's body because you think she's alive. But I know she's not alive, and I know that she was actually possessed by Norville's grandmother. That's all of Fred's thing that Beck forgot to mention.
Oh, yeah,
and also Fred wants to dig up.
I definitely know the deep lore and remember the entirety of episode 1. My bad.
This is like his whole character-driven thing about his mom.
For like 2 minutes, you watched the whole season. I didn't know that kept showing up.
So Velma wants to see Fred's picture, so she rigs the Creaky Friday thing so that him and Velma are going to be on the same Creaky Friday to uncreak the doors. And Daphne is mad because Daphne believes in fate now and thinks that messing with fate's with something or something. So then she messes with fate and becomes paired with Fred, and they go uncreak the doors. But then, actually, they find out the hot teacher died and that he's dead.
Wait, he died and he's dead? No way.
Yes, but they can't investigate because Daphne's parents can't arrest you. So Daphne and Amber get paired up, and Amber, they're like, all right, Daphne, this was actually fate. Fate decided that we'll be on the same team. I'm going to manifest that we're going to win Creek. Then Amber gets hit by a car. So then...
Sorry, you cut out and then I just heard Amber gets hit by a car.
Yeah, that's what happens. I said it twice. So then Velma goes to Fred's house. I don't remember why she goes to Fred's house. But she goes to Fred's house and she's like, Fred is like, look, this is the picture that proves my mom is dead. It's a ghost. Oh no, it's a ghost. And then we go back to Amber and Daphne, and they're at the hospital. And then actually all the doors at the hospital are creaky. So keep that. That's important. So then Velma and Fred go to the costume store because that's where they recognize the ghost. And the ghost costume was actually rented last by Norville. That's crazy, right? Norville was the ghost that took. It was okay. Forgot to mention this. Somebody stole Edna Purdue, Norville's grandmother's books or whatever, and it was actually the files, and it was actually this ghost, which was Norville. And they're like, wow. And then Amber and Daphne, they go to the morgue, and they find out something really important about the two dead guys. So then so Fred and Velma go to Norville, and they're like, Norville, why did you? And he's like, well, so I could hide my identity from the cameras. What else happens in this fucking episode? Oh yeah, Norville's trying to fuck a brain.
What?
Yeah.
It makes sense. Don't worry.
One of the hot girls, remember? Because there's 3 hot girls and they got
killed and their brains removed.
Well, this show is very much adult animated Scooby-Doo, right? They really lean into the adult,
but badly.
Only the adult part, not the rest of it.
Not the funny part.
So what fucking happens? Daphne and Amber find out that the dead bodies have their penises bit off of them.
What the fuck?
So that fucking happens, and then Velma finds her mom sleeping with Fred's dad, and then the morgue guys die. So that's episode 2.
A lot of guys are dying this time versus girls last season.
Versus hot girls' brains being removed. So they find the dead guys in the morgue, and they're like, uh-oh, dead guys. And also Fred and Velma are like, ew, banging each other. So this is the episode where Velma's like, no, Mom, I don't want you to bang Fred's dad. He's rich. And so she goes to the Fred mansion, and they do rich people things, and they have a terrible fucking musical.
There's a musical number?
And it's terrible. And then Norville is like trying to fry his brain so he doesn't have any more hallucinations of Fred's mom's ghost or whatever. And Fred makes a toaster for his science fair project, and Velma's mom helps out, and also the baby. And what the fuck happens in this episode? Yeah, I'm just scrolling through the episode, making sure I have everything that's important. They go to the science fair, and Velma.
I mean, you can skip a lot of it. I don't want to hear about 10 episodes in depth.
Daphne and Amber do some manifesting or some shit, and
so they're kind of a main character this season, right?
Amber, yeah. Okay, nothing fucking happens in this. What the fuck was? Hold on, wait. I'm looking at this post-credit scene. What the fuck was this about? Okay, so the bitch. Okay, so the hot bitch. This is a rat. The rat hot bitch gets out and goes to the sewer. And there's a dead body here. Who the fuck was this? Who the fuck was this dead body? What was it?
Maybe it was the friends we made along the way.
Okay, so then the next episode,
it's a teaser for season 3.
By the way, everyone gets detention because Norville fried his brain, and now he doesn't have hallucinations anymore, but now he's an asshole. That goes away at the end of the episode, by the way. That doesn't fucking matter. So in this episode, they're like, what if the hallucinations are actually ghosts? And so we're going to have a seance. But then Velma's like, Daphne, you're so fucking stupid. Why would you believe in ghosts? I'm your best friend. You would never believe in ghosts. You're fucking stupid. You know ghosts are real. You know there's a higher being because at a Beyonce died, okay? And you met God. So shut the fuck up.
Aiden, you're cutting out, so that makes it really
so funny.
What did you hear? What
you went to a Beyonce concert.
Yeah.
Basically,
yeah, she went to a Beyonce concert, she died and saw God, so that's how she knows that ghost stuff are real. And also her dad sneaks into the high school and gets a piece of paper or some shit. And also nothing fucking happens except for the fact that Amber gets accused of the murders because Velma hates them, probably because they're non-binary.
And she's
I definitely feel there's something that this Velma from their show would do.
And then also, Norville figures out his grandma's alive.
Figures out what?
That his grandma is alive and in an insane
is
asylum.
Not the ghost of Edna Purdue. It's the alive Edna Purdue.
Yeah, so then what happens? So then they try to burn Amber at the stake. This is the social media episode. And also Norville and Daphne Purdue. And also Fred is not a Christian anymore. That had stopped 3 days ago after the died. And the one funny joke The one funny joke was like 2 episodes ago. It wasn't really even a joke. It was just a nativity scene with like Looney Tunes characters, and that was the only thing that I laughed at throughout this entire.
There was funny stuff in the first episode for me. I don't know about the rest of it, but
No. Okay, there's also one other scene. Fred, when he goes into like what's the like confession box, and someone thinks he's the priest, and they're like, "Forgive me, Father, I have sinned," and then he gets her number, and
oh my god,
Velma, he's like, Velma, Daphne's like 2 months older than you. How do you adapt different? That's the
And
only
you
other
are
funny.
you are cutting out so hard. It's so funny.
Whatever. I don't fucking care. What happens? Daphne gets her brain swapped with Norville's grandma. With Norville's This is one of 4 body swap episodes. Don't worry. They burn at the stake.
I watch this season.
What episode are we on right now?
Episode 5. Yeah,
Bro, we're only halfway through.
I can't handle.
We're only halfway through.
I can't handle work us being halfway through.
I could have.
So they find out. That the killer hates shoes, hates fireworks, speaks through electronics, and kills at the crotch. It's a dog.
No.
Whoa. The murderer is Scrappy Doo the whole time.
What the fuck?
This fucking sucks.
Scrappy Doo.
Okay. But Aiden, what I'm hearing is that we have a really good story for season 3 now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing.
No, because he dies, right?
How does he die?
He dies. Okay, well, we're not there yet. I have to explain some other stuff.
His mic is so fucked up now. Just unfucked him.
Basically. So there's this person, Uncle Scooby, and Scrappy was working with them, and they did stuff together. And actually, the Uncle Scooby person that they've been actually Sophie, Velma's stepmom. So that's great. And also Edna Purdue was going to help them escape, but then that doesn't happen. And also the hot people have their bodies back, but that doesn't fucking matter. Fred actually has a good character story. He actually has a through line. This is the only good writing, is Fred still. So he thinks his mom was possessed by Edna Purdue, and then Norville convinces him that didn't happen because she's alive. And he's like, okay, Norville, I forgive Norville. And then I don't fucking know. And also Norville stops having the hallucinations because he feels not guilty anymore. But actually, no, because there's actually a ghost the whole time. And actually, the ghost tries to it was actually his mom. She tries to possess Fred to make him a man. But then he rejects her possession, and she goes to hell because she goes to hell. And Fred has his through line, and that's the only good character writing, and it was mediocre at best. But then Scrappy Doo, he's gonna kill everybody. He's gonna kill everybody there.
Is Scrappy Doo like a dog or a person?
He's a dog. He's a talking dog. So he's gonna kill everybody there. And Velma's like, wait, guys, everyone get onto the helicopter, but I'll stop him. And also, he's invincible, by the way.
He's Mark Grayson?
He can't fucking die. So he...
it's a dog. They're not going to kill a fucking dog.
He literally is invincible. Like, you shooting bullets deflect off of him. So Velma's like, don't worry, guys. I'll stop him, and gets her face scratched off. And then he jumps toward the helicopter, and he gets blown up by 3 missiles.
But he's invincible.
So he's not.
And
why doesn't he just fly away?
And the helicopter falls down, and everyone's like, no, everyone... And he bolts towards Daphne. He's going to kill Daphne. But then actually, he gets possessed by Velma's ghost.
It's so not getting picked up. It's so
quality,
good.
and you're still cutting out.
Maybe
One
the
second.
bad quality
Wait, I gotta
represents the
spoil
bad
this.
quality of
I gotta
Velma,
spoil
you know?
this.
Velma is dead. She dies at the end of the
But she's
season.
a ghost.
She doesn't come back to life. She's dead. but next season's gonna be about her being dead and not getting dragged to hell by Hell Demon. This show fucking sucks.
Okay,
I wanted to kill myself the whole time.
so we can agree. It's
Recommending
still a
Velma
bad
season
show. It's still one of the worst shows of the year.
I hated it. It was terrible.
All right. If you can give us one sentence to describe this entire season, what would it be?
It made people like Scrappy Doo again.
Because he killed Velma.
Yes.
Let's go.
And with that, we have the Celsius podcast, episode 75. We rec Velma season 2.
I recommend wearing
nukes.
flotation devices while swimming.
Guys,
I
think
recommend
if we sacrifice Velma season 2, they might bring back Infinity Train. We just need to burn it at the stake.
I like it. I do think we should sacrifice Velma season 2. Yeah.
Let's sacrifice for the movie gods and the film TV movie
Yeah,
gods.
no. I think we should recommend E2 Mama Tambien. You know, Aiden,
I agree. Actually,
really
good movie.
Yeah.
Wait, what rating did you give it again? I didn't check.
I gave it 3.5. Always use Celsius, and thanks for listening, fellow cum brothers.
No,
Nope,
cut
fuck
it,
you.
cut it.
Fuck you.